Hi friends, it's Anne here, and today's video is going to be a review on products that I've received from Stylevana. So, Stylevana reached out to me, and it looks like a couple of other smaller channels here on YouTube, so a big thank you to Stylevana, to review some products on their website. Some of these products are products that Stylevana sent me, and I actually did make my own order on Stylevana as well, so I have a few of those products in here as well. There's actually a lot of products to review, so this is probably going to be kind of a long video. I've got a lot to say. Most of these products, though, it's like a first impression or like a first couple impressions, so it's all pretty new to me. I'm going to try and do the video with like timestamps down below. I'm going to maybe try and do those chapters things that I see people do. I don't know how to do that, so hopefully before I post this video I figured that out. If not, there will be timestamps down below. I'm going to go through the products first, and then I'll talk about like the Stylevana website at the end. No little sidekick behind me right now. He's at the vet, so a little bit of power of the paw. He had to go get some ultrasound tests, so hopefully everything's okay. But he was pretty stressed going over there, so it's not very fun going to the vet for the day. Anyway, let's start with the product reviews. Everything you see on my face today is actually products that I received from Stylevana or that I bought from Stylevana, except for two items, which I'll point out as I go through. I'm going to talk about the items that they sent me first. The first item I want to talk about is the Heimish Artless Glow Base with SPF 50+, PA+++. I'm not a skincare expert. I don't really know what all the +++ means. I just know it's got SPF in it, so that's good. I'll also put the prices on the screen for Canada and US. If I found like the brand had a website, I'll put those prices up. Otherwise, I'm just putting up the Stylevana prices. You'll also notice that the prices are kind of a range. So this is about $22 to $29 Canadian, or it's $22 US from the Heimish site. The reason why the range is because I'm not 100% sure of the price, and I'll talk about that later on at the end of the video. So my thoughts on this product. So apparently on the website it says that it improves wrinkles and fine lines. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's probably because it has SPF in it. Plus it also has like smoothing qualities. I would presume if this was on a Canadian site, it would say improves the look of wrinkles and fine lines. I do really like this product. I've only used it a handful of times. I have it on today. It's very lightweight. It reminds me very much of the VDL primer that I had. This is maybe a little bit thinner and a little bit more milky, but the same sort of like pearlescent type finish. If you had pretty nice skin to start with, you could just put this on your face on its own and be good to go. You'd have that really like, you know, pearly, glowy type look. It has a nice light powdery type sunscreen scent, you know, like high-end face sunscreens, how they smell. That's what this sort of smells like. It's not lasting, like I don't smell it on my face all day long, but you can smell it. But it is really, really lightweight. Like it's not offensive in any way, at least I don't think so. I was looking at their website and it looks like this brand is mostly focused on skincare and like makeup is sort of secondary. So yeah, this is a really nice product though. I'm quite liking this product. It's just a really nice light moisturizing type base. Is it like really pore filling or anything like that, or is it gonna make my foundation last longer? I don't think so. It's just more of giving me like a smoother, moisturized, glowy base to put foundation on. We'll stick with the same brand. This is the Heimish brand, and this is the dailism Smudge Stop Mascara, and this ranges from about $10 to $18 Canadian, or about $14 US. And I think this is a tubing mascara. I've never used a tubing mascara, so I'm not 100% sure, but I noticed last night when I was wearing this, so I am wearing it today as well. I noticed last night when I was wearing it and I washed it off, it sort of came off in like, it sounds kind of gross, but like little gummy, stringy bits. And I was like, oh, I think this is a tubing mascara, which is hence why it's this smudge proof. I really like this. I'm wearing it today. Could also be because I have been wearing a few mascaras that I really have not been liking, but I feel like this gives me like that sort of dull like lashes. It's not super volumizing, so it's not like a Lash Paradise type mascara, you know, where you get that really sort of thick clumpy lashes. I feel like this is a bit more wispy, but I feel like my lashes look really long, they look really separated, and I'm really liking this. And yeah, it was kind of a nice surprised that it came off so easily. I'm used to wearing like, again, like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which is a bit difficult to get off. I do wear waterproof mascara often, which is always difficult to get off. So yeah, I'm really quite liking how this looks. And I really like this wand. It's a bit different to use because of the curve. I'm not sure I really like the curve so much, but I do like that really pointed end because I feel like I can really kind of get into the corners of my lashes and sort of really spread it out. And it is like a natural bristle brush, that was hard to say, which I like as well. The next item I want to talk about is this Merzy, the First Creamy Concealer, and this ranges from about $9 to $12 Canadian or about $10 US. I do have it on right now. It is a nice concealer. Like it's nice. I feel like it's very average. It's not blowing me away in any aspects. Their website was really interesting. I noticed their website's more like younger, hipper. Like the Heimish website was definitely very like glowy skincare type, like spa like, whereas this is like a more hip, young type brand. Middle of the road in terms of consistency. It's kind of thinner. I would say, yeah, it's a bit more on the thinner side, and it's got almost like a cream to powder finish. Like I feel like when you blend it out, you don't really need to set it. So that's what it looks like on the back of my hand there. I feel like as I'm blending this out, like it gets kind of soft, and it sort of dries down. Like I didn't set, so again, I'm wearing this today, did not set any of my makeup today, and I feel like it looks fine. Does it really cover? Like I feel like my dark circles right now are really bad, and it didn't really cover like as good as I really felt like I needed it, but at the same time, like I feel like it looks really natural. So you kind of have that catch-22 with if you have something that's super coverage, it starts to look really unnatural, whereas I feel like this looks really, really natural. Again, I'm not going to go into this in too much depth, but there's a whopping 3 shades of this. And this appears to be like, I'd say, I don't know if it's the deepest shade. There's another shade that looks similar, but this one's like more of the peachy pink, which for me is really good because I feel like I have pink undertones, and it also really helps with correcting that blue in the under eyes. So again, I like this. Do I love it? Like, is it life-changing? No, but is it a nice concealer? Yes. The next item I want to talk about is this MacQueen Waterproof Pencil Gel Liner. Now this MacQueen brand, I couldn't find a specific website for it. This retails for around $4 to $10 Canadian and around $3 to $8 US. Now I think this is like, they call it the big size, the 1.7, because it looks like they're phasing out the 1.4 gram size. But I did want to compare this to, this is very similar to the Urban Decay pencil as well as Pixie pencils. I also have Gosh eyeliner pencils that are very similar, and I feel like, yeah, it's very similar to that, but I don't know if you can get them anymore. I bought them like discount at Shoppers Drug Mart when they were like phasing out that brand. But I will show, just put it on my wrist here. I really like this color. This is called 07 Aura Heroine. I'm just going to show it next to couple others just for comparison, because it does kind of say it's smudge proof and waterproof. I didn't really test if it's waterproof, but it's not 100% smudge proof. So the one on the end here is the Aura from MacQueen, Aura Heroine. The next one is Bourbon from Urban Decay, and the one on the end there is, I think, Pewter from Pixie. So very similar. Like when I put them all on, very, very similar. But if I just kind of do this, you can see like they all smudge. And the Aura one, like when I do this, the Aura one comes off the most. I mean, maybe if I let it sit a bit longer, but they're very, very similar. The other thing that I want to show is, because the Urban Decay is 1.2 grams, so is the Pixie. And I was like trying to figure out, just trying to figure out if this is the 1.7 or the 1.4 size. But I noticed like the actual pencil on this, I can show you, the actual core of the pencil is bigger. So this one is the MacQueen one, and you can kind of see it's a bit thicker than the other two. It is a sharpening type pencil, and lengthwise, like, it's a little bit longer, but I have used these for a while. But yeah, very comparable, but in terms of price, it's like a third of the price. Like, I don't know, it's way cheaper than the Urban Decay one. I can't remember how much the Pixie ones. I think the Pixie ones are around $20, $16 to $20. The Urban Decay is like $30. So yeah, really, like, for the price point of this, really, really nice. Again, I am wearing it today, but I did notice the other day I took a nap and then I did rub my eye, and then at night, this was like 8 o'clock at night, I was taking Harley out and I looked in the mirror and I noticed, I was like, oh, but I rubbed all of my makeup off except for the mascara. The mascara was still there, but it was fine on the other eye. So it does last as long as you're not like rubbing your eyes. I feel like it faded a tad on my eye, but for the most part it does last and does stay put. Okay, sticking with the MacQueen brand, this is the MacQueen My Strong Auto Eyebrow Pencil, because it's not a sharpening one, in the shade Natural Brown. Now they do have this in a slim version. This is just like the regular version, and it's sort of like a diamondy teardrop shade. I don't know if it'll focus on that. There we go. So I hope you can see kind of the shape there. So it does have like an edge where you can like do sort of like finer lines, and then it has like, it's obviously wider, so you can do wider. So that's it right there on my hand, right up there. It's a nice shade. It does lean slightly warm, but I actually feel like it works really well with my hair color right now, which is supposed to be purple. It's not very purple. But yeah, so this kind of pencil is maybe not my favorite kind of pencil. I forgot to mention it ranges for about somewhere between $3 and $15 Canadian and $4 and $11 US. So yeah, it's kind of a big range there. But from an eye pencil perspective, something's in my hair there. It's quite nice. It's not too pigmented. It's more on the creamy side than waxy side. So if you think of like the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil or the Anastasia one that are more waxy, this is more creamy, but it's not super pigmented. Like, it's just like that right level of pigment that I feel like I can not overdo my brows. Like, I don't go crazy, but it's also not like too light. Like, I think it was like an Essence one, and there's another one I used where it was like too light and you feel like you're like scraping your eyebrow trying to get some color in. So it's kind of a nice in between. Again, maybe not my favorite style. I don't know if I wouldn't repurchase this one, but maybe trying like, I think they have like the fine liner one. I forget what it's called. It's like micro or something like that, which I think I would like better. Oh, and the other thing I want to mention about this, so it's got a brush on the one side. This is like the softest eyebrow brush I've ever used. It is so nice. It's so, like, I just want to brush my eyebrows. It's so soft. It's so bizarre that it's like so soft. I don't know why it's so soft, but I like it. I don't know if it's any better. You probably need to have something a little less soft to actually like brush your brows up. I don't know, but it's nice. It's a nice little brush. Speaking of brushes, the next product I want to talk about is the MacQueen Cheek and Shading Brush. This retails for about $11 to $12 on the Canadian site, or about $5 to $9 on the US site. I'm not sure why the one on the site is different than the one I have. Like, it's obviously not the same in terms of what the style is the same, but the actual like bristles, like, it's not the same brush at all. And I noticed MacQueen, at least on the Stylevana site, only has this one brush, so I feel like they're not really in the brush game. Like, it's an okay brush, feels kind of cheap. It is unique though, like in terms of style. Like, so I have a lot that are like this, that are on the angle, but this one is kind of pinched. You can see that, like, it's pretty narrow. I don't like it for contour, so I did have contour on, or I did have bronzer on today, which is this Radiance Brick bronzer, and I just feel like this shape is not the right shape. I did use this with highlight the other day, and I quite liked it for that. I keep meaning to use it for contour, which I haven't used yet, but for bronzer, I prefer a bit of a fluffier brush for bronzer, because I just sort of, like, if you've ever watched my Get Readys with me, I kind of go hand with bronzer at times. So yeah, this is one of the two products that I have on that is not from Stylevana. The other one is I did tight line with this black from Marc Jacobs. This is the fine liner in blacker, just because I feel like this is a little bit light, and for filming I was like, I don't know if it's gonna look too washed out. So I have worn this just on its own though, and I do like it just on its own for day-to-day wear. Just wasn't sure on camera it would look quite right. So yeah, this brush isn't, it's okay, but the only thing I like about it, or the only thing that's different about it, it is a bit of a unique shape, but it's nothing to write home about. Next up, I want to talk about this Moonshot Micro Glassyfit cushion in number 201. I think it does have SPF in it. Yeah, it's the same SPF as the primer, the Artless Glowy Base. It's SPF 50 plus, PA, I think this says 4 pluses, plus. So packaging wise, this is like A plus, and I was on their website. So the pricing of this is about $21 to $29 Canadian, or about $17 to $20 US on the US Stylevana site. They don't have like a Moonshot site that you can buy like in US, but I was looking at their Korean site, and just like their packaging of all their products, like they seem to really specialize in like cushion foundations and things, and like I love the packaging of their products. They're really, really cool. So it's got obviously the little mirror here and the little cushion, and I really like this little cushion because it's got that point there, like if you can see that point, so it's great for like getting right up under here, or like right in the nose area, like just that little point is perfect. So I'm not wearing this today because it's a little light. I'll try and insert a video so you can see what it looks like. I don't know if I'll just talk over that video or if I'll just insert the video. I'm kind of showing a bunch of the different products that I'm wearing in that video. It's a little light, so it doesn't look great, and I'd have to put on like bronzer. I don't know what it would look like while filming. I was like, I don't want to look too ghostly. I need to play with it. I think it'll work a lot better for me over the winter time, and I want to keep playing with this. And yeah, I just didn't want to film with this because I wanted to show what it looked like without anything on top, but it's so pale that I do look a bit ghostly. So I feel like it doesn't showcase the product to its best. But it does have that glass finish. So like this is a product for me that I need to play with more because it's so out of, I don't want to say out of my comfort zone, but so out of the norm for me. It's not a product that I typically would use or gravitate towards or even think, but I've always wanted to try a product like this. And I need to play with it more to see how it looks on my face. If you have oily skin, you probably would not like this at all. Like it definitely gives that glassy glow. It doesn't feel tacky though. Like at first it'll feel a bit tacky, but it does sort of dry down. And it doesn't feel like it's like coming off, but it's obviously very light coverage as well. Like you're not getting full coverage with it. It's just going to be like sort of a natural type finish. But yeah, the shade's a little off. So, and yeah, there's only like a handful of shades. Like I was looking at their shades. I think there's like maybe one shade that would work for me in this. That's like one shade. I think it's like 203 maybe, that would work for me. But really cool product. It feels really nice on, doesn't have any sort of scent. And again, I'm really excited to play with this over the winter because I think it'll be a really nice product to use throughout the winter time. Next up is this Peripera Pure Blushed Sunshine Cheek in 02 Milktea Coral. So I feel like from a Western perspective, Peripera is like a more known brand. It's a brand that I think a lot of us have heard of. This ranges in price from about $8 to $10 Canadian or about $5 to $7 US. I'm just going to say this is a generic blush. There's nothing, it's what I'm wearing today. There's nothing to write home about on it. It's exactly what you would expect it to be. I wouldn't say it's super matte. I think it says it's matte on the website, but it does have, well, I guess it's kind of matte. I would have said it's more slightly satin. Like there's a hint of satin to it. It's not like dead matte, but it's pretty matte. Like there's no shimmer, there's no shine or anything like that. This shade is actually very universal. I can see the shade working for a lot of people. I was actually just looking on the Peripera site just to see what other colors that they had. And they have two new colors. And there's one called Milky Peach that I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. It looks kind of super pale and it might be a little like too pastel. But I was like, I don't know, that could be a really nice color as well. All the colors too look very nice and natural. Like I think whatever color you got in this is not going to be a miss. Like all of them look really nice and natural and pretty. The only one that would be maybe difficult, there's like sort of a purpley one, and on some people that could look a little bruisey. But yeah, like this is nice packaging, but nothing to write home about. But again, if you're looking for a blush, really good price point. I don't know what size this comes in, 4.2 grams. That's a good size. Just overall, an okay product. So the next item is a surprise for me because it's probably one of my favorite products out of all of these. And I'm surprised that it actually is. So this is from the brand called MEMEBOX, and it's the Mystery Blur Tint, and this is in the shade 009 Mystery Persimmon. Hoping I'm saying that right. I think that's a fruit. It ranges in price from about $10 to $16 Canadian on the Stylevana site or about $12 on the US MEMEBOX site. I don't know what the sorcery is. This is what I have on my lips today. It's called Mystery for a reason. I mean, it says on the website that it's infused with silicone elastomer complex. I don't know what that means. It's still a mystery to me. But I really, really like this stuff. There's something so different about this product compared to any other product I've ever used. So when you pull it out and when you're looking at it, like it's super pigmented. Like it's very, very pigmented. If I just put it on the side of my hand there, you can see And that's obviously what I'm wearing today. It's super pigmented, but it doesn't dry down 100%, but there's barely any transfer. Like barely. You can see that. There's like barely any transfer. I was like, I did not, what? And like when you put it on, it feels so smooth and soft in such a nice way that's so hard to describe. Like I've tried other sort of like moussey type lip products. Like I'm thinking of the Julep lip mousses. No, this is like even softer than that. Like I've never tried anything like this. And I'm like, this is amazing. I want more of these. And you all know I have a problem with buying lip products, but I definitely think I'm going to buy this in another shade. They say this shade I think is touted as like the best shade on the Stylevana website. It's looking a little washed out. Yeah, that's probably a bit more closer in, it's a bit deeper. It's looking a bit washed out because it's a little bit bright, but it is a little bit deeper. And I was looking at the shades on the website and I'm like, ooh, I want to try the Rosewood shade. And I want to try, there's one called Mystery Mocha that sounds good. Although I did notice that this like actual line is on clearance on Stylevana. So I'm hoping it doesn't mean it's discontinued. But yeah, like surprise, like winner in terms of all the products that I've tried, because I was like, it really caught me off guard in terms of, I was like, oh, it's going to be either really pigmented and transfer everywhere, or it's going to like dry down and be super uncomfortable. Now it does wear, like I find it doesn't really last. It starts to wear down within like, 30 minutes or so if you start drinking water and eating and stuff. It's not like a long lasting lipstick, but it's still long wearing. Like I found, like even though I was eating and drinking, I could still see the product on my lips, and wearing down in like a really nice natural way. But yeah, it's so smooth. I'm gonna put some more on. And the last thing I'm going to talk about that Stylevana sent to me is this MEMEBOX, so same as the lip product brand, and it's the I'm Multi-Cube in 01 Sweet Pink. So they have like two lines of this. It looks like they had an initial release, and then this is part of their new release. This is around $15 to $24 Canadian, or about $18 US on the MEMEBOX site. Now, the product itself, so I am wearing the eyeshadow today, and it's nothing to write home about. It's fine, nice eyeshadows, a bit powdery, so I had a lot of fallout with this shade right here. And then this shade is like a topper shade, but I found it's very much like the topper shades from the Charlotte Tilbury, where I feel like it gets like, it's nice on your finger, but it's really hard to get it onto your eye. I ended up like scraping it a little bit, which I do with the Charlotte Tilbury one too, and like tapping it in with my finger to get like that shimmer to really stand out, because otherwise it's very, very, very subtle. And I also found that even though this is like the pink shade, it's very peachy. Like you can see on my skin tone, it turns out to be a very peachy pink, which I was actually quite surprised. It's not a cool tone pink at all. The blush is definitely more of a cool tone pink though. I'm not wearing that today, but it's a fine blush. It's nice. It's a nice soft pink blush. Nothing fancy. The product itself is nothing fancy, but I'm just in love with this packaging. Now I made a joke when I posted this on my Instagram video when I was showing these products. It's like my hands are the size of a 5-year-old, not that small, but this product is small. So I'm just going to show you a comparison. This is the ColourPop Quad, which a lot of people have. So it's smaller than a ColourPop Quad, but maybe a little bit thicker. And then again, speaking of Charlotte Tilbury, this is what it looks like in comparison to a Charlotte Tilbury Quad. So if you have a Charlotte Tilbury Quad, that kind of gives you the size comparison. But I love that. I love that there is no wasted space on this. Like they are efficient with their eyeshadows, and it's a nice sturdy package. Like I would feel so comfortable traveling with this. It's very nice and sturdy, and it's perfect. Like you get 4 eyeshadows and a blush all in one. Again, I was looking at the website. I'm like, well, what other colors do they have? And they have one that's called, I think, Glam Rose. That looks really pretty. And a lot of like browns. Like it's all like peaches, browns, and pinks. But I mean, that's what you need in like a little travel eye set, because you want something that's like easy to go, easy to throw in the bag, and away you go. So yeah, like again, maybe nothing like super exciting in terms of shadow. Like didn't blow me away in terms of like application. I did find that I had to like kind of play with it to get the application to look the way I wanted it to. But I love this packaging. I love this little, it's so cute. It's so cute. Okay, on to products that I purchased myself, which is a lot shorter of a list. So we're not like, we're over halfway through the video now, I think, hopefully. So the first product I want to talk about is this Missha Cover BB Cream RX in shade number 22. So I think this is the new packaging. I was looking on the Missha Canada website and the packaging looked a little different, but then I went to like the Missha brand site and it looks like this. So I think this is the new packaging. This ranges from about $16 to $20 Canadian, or about $16 to $27 on the Missha Canada website, or about $13 to $16 US on the US Stylevana website. So this is the foundation that I am wearing today, and again, I didn't set it or anything. I don't feel like I need to set it. Very similar to, I had the Dr. Jart BB cream, and although that felt a little thicker, this is a little bit thinner. I guess I should show you the shade of what this looks like too. This is in the shade N22. Again, there's like a whopping 4 or 5 shades of this. This shade's perfect for me though. Like, it worked really, really well. I feel like maybe a tad light, but like nothing too stark that I couldn't work with it. And yeah, it's a very, if you've used a BB cream, very standard, very nice finish. I think it looks really nice on, feels really nice on. It's that light coverage. It's got SPF in it. So this one's SPF 42, PA+++. And this is a good size. This is 50 mils. So for BB cream, that's like, I think fairly standard. Most foundations are around 30 mils. So you're getting a good amount of product for this. And yeah, I think it's fine. Again, only 4 shades. I'm not going to go there, but I'm actually really happy. I like this product. I think I will really enjoy using this. Also reminds me of, I just finished up a Clinique Better Than Glow foundation. It was like a small foundation. They're all small. Kind of similar. That was a bit more glowy, but in terms of texture, very similar. I like that because it's not too thin and not too thick. I've talked about, I don't like super thin foundations. When they're too watery, I feel like they sit on my face, like in my pores. Another product that really surprised me that I really quite love is this Apricot, which I think is a sister brand to Missha. It's the Juicy Pang Blusher in PK03 Guava. This ranges for about $78 Canadian on the Stylevana website, or about $7 to $13 on the Missha Canada website. So if you hear beeping, there's some sort of truck somewhere backing up. And about $4 to $6 on the Stylevana US site. I'm actually really surprised. I quite like this product. So it does look like a nail polish, even in like the packaging. It's like a nail polish. I have nowhere to put these things, but let's put this right here. It is pretty thin. Like, it's pretty thin in texture. It's right there. And then if I like blend it out a little bit, hopefully you can see that. It's a pretty thin in texture. That's a very horrible swatch. But it looks just like that pinched cheeks, just came in from the cold kind of color, and it just looks super natural. Like, it looks like it's part of your skin when you put it on. It doesn't, so it looks a little intense when you first put it on, but I feel like it sort of melds with your skin and starts to blend in. You can almost kind of see that right there. Like, it starts to sort of, almost, I don't want to say fade, but yeah, like it sort of fades. Like, it looks a little like, ooh, it's a little, you know, blushy when you first put it on, but then when it like starts to dry down, it sort of fades a little, and it just like sort of becomes part of your skin. Now, I've only tried this on top of like the Moonshot foundation and the BB cream. I haven't tried this on top of like a full coverage foundation with like setting it with heavy powder or anything like that. So I don't know, like this probably would move. Like, if you're using a pretty heavy foundation, this might move it because it is pretty watery. But like, I've tried it over the BB cream with a bit of powder, and it's even over top of a bit of powder, it didn't seem to like do anything really bad or crazy to my skin. So yeah, like I really, really like this. Now when I talk about things like the mystery lip thing and I want to buy it in other shades, do I really want to buy this in other shades? No, I think I'm good with this. I think I'm happy with the shade. I'm happy with this product. And I think like this is going to last forever. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with this. I've seen this around for years. Like, this is probably one of the first Korean type products that I've seen, and like the first liquid type blushes that I've seen for a long time, and I've always wanted to try it, and I never have, and I finally did, and I'm happy I did. I don't know why I waited so long. Now again, I just sort of dot it like the way I did on my arm. I sort of dot it on my face and then just blend it with my fingers. You could blend it with a brush or put it on with like a sponge. I haven't tried that, but I think the other methods would work. I think it's just a nice, quick, easy with your fingers. It blends out super nice. A product that I thought I would like more, and I'm just kind of meh about, is this Rom&nd Glasting Water Tint in 03 Rose Splash. This is about $10 to $14 Canadian on the Stylevana site, are about $8 to $10 US on the US Stylevana site. And when I first put this on, it very much reminded me, and please, I hope I'm not the only one that did this, when you would like lick like a red M&M and then wipe that on your lips. This tasted and looked exactly like that. Like I was like, oh my God. Like I wish I could just do a comparison right now and show, like, I bet it'd be kind of the same thing. So it's really interesting because it's like, oh, it even had like a bit of a sweet type taste to it. Now, it goes on like a gloss, and then it does tint. It tints pretty much right away. I kind of prefer this when the gloss fades away and it tints, because I feel like it looks a little patchy when you have just like the gloss. Like I find it hard to get a nice smooth color on my lips. And I don't know, I think I just need to play with this. Like again, I've never used a product like this before. I've always wanted to try one of these kind of tints. Even when I did the purchase from Pink Blossom, so the last Korean beauty haul I did, I ended up not buying any of these because they didn't really have any in stock. And I was like, dang it, I really want to try one of these like watery type tints. So I think it's just something I need to play with and get used to. Again, really out of my, again, don't want to say comfort zone, but out of like the norm of how I usually do makeup or wear makeup. So I just want to really play with this. Also, the shade, again, I was looking at the shades. I'm like, I'm not 100% sure why I picked this shade. They have two new shades that was like, they look nice. There's one called Rose Stream, I think, that I think I might like a bit better. So I don't know, maybe purchasing it in a different shade, I might have different feelings about this. But yeah, I need to play with this a little bit more. I do like it though, like I said, once it wears down, I like that tint. I like having that tint on my lips. Then I can just throw like a lip gloss or something else on top that just gives me a bit of like moisture, and I think it looks really, really pretty. And the last two products I have to talk about are skincare products. So the first one is this Laneige Creamy Skin Refiner Mist. So it's funny, I was looking at this product and then I was watching an older video from James Welsh. He's one of the Welsh twins, and he does like skincare stuff, and he talked about this product and how he liked it. And I was like, oh, that's so cool, because I like had this in my cart and I was looking at it, buying it anyway. The price range of this is probably the most expensive product, I think. This was around $35 to $40 Canadian, around $20 to $23 US. It's a nice product, but is it a need to have product? No. Like I feel like this is like an extra moisturizing step, and I feel like as I'm going into the winter time, I feel like I'm getting super extra with my skincare and like going in with like multiple layers of moisture. So I've talked about what I was using a Caudalie toner for. It was a moisturizing toner. Sometimes when I get up in the morning, I just sort of wash my face and I want to put some moisture on before I take Harley out, but I don't want to spend all the time doing my skincare because I got to take Harley out to go to the bathroom. So I kind of like to do like an early moisture step. And so that's why I bought this. And this is okay. I think the one thing that I struggle with, and this is why I'm struggling with the Smashbox primer, is I'm not a huge fan of spray applicator type things because I feel like they go everywhere. And I think part of it in my head is like I feel like it's all going in my hair. And so I used to have really oily skin and oily hair, and like it's a weirdness with me. It has nothing to do with like a bad thing. It's just like it's just a weirdness with me. But I do want to point out the mixture on this, hopefully I can spray it, is much finer than I thought it would be. Like I don't even know if that's showing anything because it's so fine. So it's not super heavy in the moisture. It's just sort of like an extra moisture. If you have like oily skin, you probably would actually really like this. If you have oily skin and you want to moisturize, but you're kind of afraid of moisturizing, you would probably like this type product. Would I repurchase this? Probably not. I think I actually want to kind of look again for another moisturizing toner, hopefully in a pump. I'm so mad that Caudalie changed the formula on their product, and I was actually looking at the reviews and everyone was like saying, don't like this. Well, most people were saying they didn't like it because it's different. It's not the same. So yeah, it's a nice enough product. Again, I don't have like a long-term review. Skincare, it's hard to do a quick review, but my first initial impressions, I do like this product. Again, it doesn't really have a scent either, which I really like. I really like the Laneige products in general, so happy with that. And the last product is this Esfolio Cica, or Cica, is it Cica? I think I was saying Cica, but I think it's Cica. Centella Calming Ampoule. So I bought this because I wanted to get free shipping. And then I knew the Esfolio brand, the face masks that I'm using are, the sheet masks are Esfolio, and so I knew I trusted the brand. And this is like a nice product. So it's $8 to $15 Canadian, or about $6 to $10 US. I haven't used this enough to really give a product review, so I don't know if it's effective. Again, speaking of James Welsh, he was talking about like Cica Centella being a really good product in a lot of skincare brands. The actual like product is clear, So the bottle is what's green. So if you just look at it, it's clear. It's pretty thin. I don't know if you can see that, but like not super watery. So it's like, I feel like it absorbs really, really well. Has no scent. So I feel like first impressions wise, it's really easy to build this into my skincare routine because it doesn't seem to like counteract with anything else. Like it's not super thick or have like a strong fragrance. Like I kind of try and do my skincare fairly quickly. I don't like to wait too long between steps. So this is a nice product where I don't feel like I have to like wait for it to sink in, or I'm concerned it's gonna like ball up with something else. Like, so it's been an easy product to start using with my skincare routine. But again, I've only used it for a few days, so I don't know if it's actually going to make a difference. I hope so. So it's supposed to be like calming and soothing, and I get a lot of redness in the winter with like the cold air and the wind and the snow and the sleet and all that good stuff. So I'm really hoping this will combat that. So that's a review on all the products. Now I want to talk about Stylevana itself. So Stylevana itself is not an actual brand like Peripera. It's like a Sephora, like it's a company, it's a brand that sells a bunch of other brands. And it, to me, when I went to their website, it's fairly typical of other like Korean multi-brand shopping website experiences. I actually prefer the layout of their website and their way their search works over YesStyle. I don't really like the YesStyle website. Maybe it's better on like cell phones. I don't do online shopping on cell phones. I pretty much do online shopping on my computer. So I don't know, maybe it looks better on a website or on a cell phone, or maybe they have an app. But I don't like the YesStyle website. And their pricing seems fairly comparable to other websites like YesStyle or like the brand websites. It does seem to be better priced than Sakoshi Mart. Here, at least here in Canada, I found that most of the Sakoshi Mart products were a bit more expensive. Same with I shopped on Pink Blossom, and the reason why I shopped on Pink Blossom in the spring was because it's a local type site, so I thought it's going to be faster to get here, a little bit more accessible, but their brand selection, they don't have as many products, and their pricing on some items was a bit more expensive, and some it was comparable. I will say, like, it is overwhelming. So I do find the site a little overwhelming. There are so many brands and so many products. The interesting thing I find though is like, so when I think of like a Western brand like Urban Decay, they will have like their Vice lipsticks and then there's like 100 shades. Whereas something like Rom&nd has like 4 or 5 different lines, like a watery tint, a blurring tint, a something else tint, but then maybe like only 6 to 8 shades within that line. So it's different. Like it's a bit confusing. And that's just me speaking as like a Westerner that hasn't done a whole lot of shopping on Korean skincare or Korean makeup. And it is a bit overwhelming to see the different types of products. Like I don't know exactly what product I want. And then to pick a shade in that product. Like I'm one of those people, so when I go to a restaurant, I don't like it when a menu is too big because I find it super overwhelming. And like just like makes me anxious. Like I get my anxiety like goes up to here. It's like, give me a menu that has like 5 items. Like I don't want to pick from too much. So I do find personally a little bit, and this isn't just Stylevana, this is like most of the Korean brands and like their websites, like there's a lot going on. Speaking of a lot going on, there's a lot of different discounts going on, a lot of different sales, which I find again a little confusing, but I find that, you know, on other like YesStyle and other sites like that, and even like the Pink Blossom site that I was on, like it's hard to tell exactly what the price of something is, and if you're getting a discount, it's good to just kind of look at other websites to see if you're relatively getting a decent price on something. It reminds me of when I worked at the Gap. So I worked at the Gap for a very short period of time. Basically, everything is on sale at the Gap at some point, at some time. Like, you basically just take the sale sign and move it around the store. The only thing that's not on sale at the Gap is when they do special collections. So every once in a while, they'll do, like, a special, you know, collaboration with somebody. Those are never on sale. But basically, never buy anything at full price at the Gap. And the same goes with, like, Stylevana and other sites. Like, you never buy anything full price. There's always going to be a sale on an item. So the other thing I want to point out is pay attention to when things are in stock or not in stock and how it works. So again, it just depends on how quickly you want something. There's sort of 5 levels, not including when something's out of stock, with their items on their website. So not everything is within their warehouse. So they said in stock, so that means it usually will ship within 24 hours. Limited stock usually ships within 24 hours, but low quantities left. So like if you're at the tail end of there, you might not get it as quickly. Then they have ones that are shipped within 2 to 6 working days, 7 to 14 working days, or within 30 working days. So that's like, something's 30 working days, that's like, they definitely have to like procure it, and it's going to take a little bit longer. When I made my order personally, everything was in stock. I actually did that on purpose. There was an item I had picked and put it in my basket, but when I got to like the checkout, it said that it wasn't like, that it was going to take, I think, 7 to 14 days. And I was like, no, I want to get stuff that's in stock to see what the shipping is like. So I did want to mention, I placed my order on October 26th. Yes, I know I didn't include this stuff in my October buys and buys. It will be in my November buys and buys. I just didn't want to do a spoiler on this video. So October 26th is when I placed my order, and everything arrived to me on November 12th. So that means it took 17 days, which I thought was not bad. I was expecting a lot longer because everything was coming from Hong Kong. And I know in Canada sometimes things get delayed. So if you're in the US, probably get some things a little bit faster than that. But I just want to kind of point out, this is something for me as well, that I think we all need to maybe reset our expectations a little bit on shipping. And it's totally okay if something doesn't get shipped within 1 to 2 days. Like, part of me is thinking like environmentally and from a work perspective, like people shouldn't be like working like slaves just to get my makeup to me in a day. Like, I think we as a collective maybe need to like rationalize, like, it's okay if some things take a little while in shipping. Doesn't mean I'm still going to be anxious and wait for my product, and you know, I get stressed when things take a long time, because I feel like, especially when you get eyeshadow palettes, that it's more opportunity for it to break. That's like the only thing I care about, to be honest, when things take a while. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to purchase something myself, like place an order myself. I wanted to see what it was like. Really easy to order, really easy, like, again, shipping was much quicker. Package basically came the same as the one that they sent me as well. They came in different routes, because what they sent me, I think, came from a different place. But yeah, like, I was, you know, happy with what I got and how I got it, so that was good. So I want to mention, when you register for their site, you will become part of their like membership club. And I'll be honest, so when I first signed up, I think I got like 9 emails within 24 hours. I was like, oh my God, Stylevana, like, we just met. Take it easy. But I'd say by now, like, I maybe get 1 email a day, which I think is fairly typical of most retailers. And I do notice too, once I sign in, now that I have an account, when I sign in, I get, like, it shows an extra, I think, 3% off, which I think has to do with because I already placed an order. So I'm just going to put up the screen on what their, like, membership tiers are. There's, like, a beginner, an insider, which I am, a super fan, and a VIP. And when you place orders, you get Vana points, which I don't think the Vana points are like redeemable like Sephora. I think the Vana points are like what moves you up through the levels. So as you spend, you get points, and then that will move you up through the different levels, and you'll get more discounts and better discounts, it looks like. And it looks like the way it works is kind of like Sephora. So it will reset. So if you don't spend enough within the year, you'll kind of get reset down to a lower level. Now, the difference that I see with this and Sephora works on a calendar year. I think you get reset every January, whereas I think Stylevana works like 12 months from when you started buying, so like when you created your account. So I think I have about 12 months to retain, and if I don't, again, I'm not 100% sure exactly how it works, because I haven't had an account that long, but it looks like it's more about around when you sign up, not around when the calendar year starts or ends. And I did want to mention one thing I did notice on their site. I'm not sure if it's still there, but I noticed in some of my emails they have something called a Vana box, which I think is super cool. So it's like a curated box of skincare, and there's a couple different kinds. And if you're like new to Korean skincare and Korean makeup like me, I think it's a really cool way to try like a bunch of different brands and a bunch of different products all at once without really having to like I said, the website can be a little overwhelming. And I also think if you get the box, you're getting a discount, like you're getting sort of like a bulk discount for getting all the items together. So I did just want to mention those as well, because I thought they were really cool. So lastly, I do want to mention, I do have a code. So I do get a bit of a kickback if you use that code. So no pressure to use the code, but I did want to be clear and transparent to share the information. So the code itself is for $10 off, and the code is INF10 and M. However, if you spend a certain minimum amount, you'll actually get 15% off, which is pretty much better than like, I think all like the sign up kind of codes you get are about 10% off. So because the code itself is 10% off your entire order, but it's 15% off if you spend the following minimum, which depends on which country you're in. So if you spend $59 US, it'll be 15% off. If you spend $75 Canadian, it'll be 15% off. If you spend £43 in the UK, then 15% off. Australia, it's $77, and then European and France, I guess, is 48 euros. So you have to check their website because I don't think they ship everywhere, like fully international. I think there's maybe some places they don't quite ship. But yeah, so it's pretty cool that it would be if you spend that minimum. I feel like, 59 US or 75 Canadian, it's not a whole lot to get an extra 15% off. I think it's a pretty good deal. And like I said, they've got all sorts of different discounts and deals happening right now and all the time, it seems like. And I did want to kind of get this video out. I'm hoping to get this up on Friday, on Black Friday, because I feel like they're probably having Black Friday sales. They're probably going to have Cyber Monday sales. Probably be holiday sales coming up, so I want to make sure I get this video up so you can like take advantage of discounts, because I love a discount and I like to make sure other people know about a discount. So I also do want to mention, as a Canadian, I really do appreciate that they have a Canadian website with Canadian prices. I get so frustrated at brand websites when they don't have the currency, they just have a price. And I'm assuming 90% of the time it's US, but sometimes it actually is Canadian and you don't know. So a trick or a tip that I figured out, if you just put something in your cart and go to the checkout, when you finally get to like the checkout part, it usually shows like the denominator, like US or whatever the currency is. But yeah, I really appreciate like that Stylevana has a Canadian site and it's in Canadian prices, so you know what you're paying for. You don't have to like deal with currency conversions and things like that. So yeah, this is going to be a really long video, so if you've stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. And again, I really, really appreciate Stylevana reaching out to me and sending me some products. And again, I really appreciate that they reach out to a lot of smaller channels. I think it means a lot to us to get to check out a site that probably most of us have not really known about, and try out some new and interesting products that, again, I haven't tried out a lot of these things, a lot of these brands. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you did subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.